Golden State's massive offseason overhaul continues, and they have signed yet another stellar competitor to the roster. This one, although more likely to come off the bench, is going to be an absolute nightmare matchup on second units. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Swish Culture. When I first saw the signing of DeAnthony Melton, that was pretty shocking. No way the Warriors could afford to sign a guard that was projected to earn north of $20 million on the free trade market. I honestly thought it was a joke. But it is confirmed that Melton will be wearing a Warriors jersey this season. With Hield signed, Anderson signed, and Melton now added, this second unit is going to be a problem for the league. And that's not hyperbole. These players are some of the best mid-tier guys you can find on the trade market, and considering the value the Warriors are getting on these trades, it is going to be a very competitive training camp as the team evaluates stars, starters, second, and third strings. If the Warriors don't get their market and trade finalized, this means players like Moody and Pods will have to really step their game up in order to keep their minutes intact. Speaking of Moody, it'll be interesting to see what the Warriors offer in terms of an extension, as that will give us some idea of where the team values him. All in all, these new signees are dogs that smell blood, and considering Moody's limited playing time last season, they're looking for any opportunity to get back into a starting role, especially with a team that could potentially win a championship. Wait till you get a load of what DeAnthony Melton brings to the table and how he can contribute to the Warriors going on a championship run this season. So if you'd like to hear more, be sure to watch the whole video. Just don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA content on the planet. Now get ready. You're about to get one of the most underrated signings this offseason almost completely slipped under the radar. This is a massive upgrade to the Warriors bench unit, but first things first, who is DeAnthony Melton? Melton is a 26-year-old 6'3" guard that was originally drafted by the Houston Rockets with the 46th overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft. Melton, however, never saw the light of day in a Rockets jersey as he was traded after Summer League and prior to the beginning of the season to the Phoenix Suns. He struggled to make it off the bench his first year and was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies the following offseason along with Josh Jackson, yeah, you remember that guy, Javon Carter, Kyle Korver, and 2 second-round picks. Again, Melton struggled in his sophomore year, which was his first with the Grizzlies. However, in year 3, that is in 2021, he had a massive breakthrough. This was the year the Grizzlies eliminated the Warriors in the play-in tournament, and DeAnthony Melton had a lot to do with it. That year, he shot 41% from deep and 44% from the field, while playing 20 minutes a night and fortifying the Grizzlies on the defensive end. While he was an undersized 2-guard, his ability to defend, rack up steals, run the break, and knock down threes put the Grizzlies on one of their most memorable runs in recent history. His presence made that year's Memphis team very dangerous company. Unfortunately, that run ended prematurely as the shooters ended up in the wrong court. The following season saw the Warriors' revenge on the Grizzlies, knocking them out in the second round of the playoffs en route to a 4th championship in a decade. This was another strong performing year for Melton, but the team went through some reconstruction after the loss to the Warriors, leading to the 76ers putting in a bid for Melton as they went through their own reconstruction. This reconstruction for the 76ers included at the time the trade for James Harden to pair with Embiid to build a championship roster. Melton played his most minutes this season, logging 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, and almost 3 assists, and 1.6 steals in 28 minutes, shooting 39% from 3 in a system that didn't give him a green light. A shooter like Melton in Golden State would be allowed to take any open 3, with the rare exception being Stephen Curry being more open. The fact that he's such a good defender would enable Steve Kerr to pair the two despite his size. Those minutes that Curry would play with the second unit to close out first quarters could see a boost as guys like Melton and Anderson get on the floor to bring hustling, defense, and three-point shooting to the team. Now that I think about it, these are 2 key players in that Grizzlies team that eliminated Golden State. Seems Dunleavy Jr. had been taking notes. James Harden obviously left the team the following season, that's this past season, while Melton stayed on the 76ers roster. Due to extensive injuries to Embiid, the team was unable to compete on a high level in the playoffs. For his part, Melton again played well defensively, putting up 11 points and 1.6 steals in 27 minutes and hitting a career-high 83.5% from the free throw line. The downside is that he only shot 36% from 3 as the entire Sixers team struggled to hit outside shots. Melton only shot 38.6% overall from the field this past season. While it may seem like a decline, he had a spinal injury that had him out for the entirety of the second half of the season, only returning to play a few minutes in Game 4 of the playoffs versus the Knicks. But there's a reason his nickname is Mr. Do Something. He's the type of player that will always give you something out there on the floor. If his shots aren't falling, he will give you something on the defensive end. As such, he still recorded 1.6 steals and tied with Kawhi for the 5th most steals in the league had he played enough games to qualify. So why did the 76ers allow Melton to leave in free agency? The first is the health problems that kept him out for the second half of the season. The 76ers have concerns that he might be a player that might sustain more injuries and already have enough of that on the team with Embiid. Additionally, despite his average shooting from 3 last season, he's valuable enough as a player to warrant a salary north of $20 million. And as with Buddy Hield, the 76ers just weren't able to afford to pay him. So how did the Warriors afford a $20 million a year player? That's also simple. The Dubs just signed DeAnthony Melton to a 1-year deal worth under $13 million using their taxpayer mid-level exception. This is an absolute steal for Golden State to bolster their supporting cast with such a talented player at such a low cost. One of the biggest issues with Golden State has been their defense, and with the addition of Anderson and Melton, the Warriors will be able to effectively guard 1 through 5 between just those two alone. These are players that could step into a starting role and have an immediate impact in the case of injury or absence. These moves alone, and hate it or love it, the fact that Klay Thompson won't be a part of the lineup automatically puts the Warriors into the playoffs. Klay Thompson's addition by subtraction will be one of the biggest factors for Golden State, and while Klay did significant damage in Game 6 to put the Grizzlies out of their misery, that was more of an atonement than anything. The Warriors had to accept the bad with the good, and that was the good that Klay Thompson did. This team now has depth in terms of players that would be starters on other teams coming off the bench. Now, this type of depth did cause some issues last year as some guys just couldn't be afforded minutes. This is where the Warriors would be consolidating some pieces in order to make a trade for one of the biggest names in this season's trade market. The Jazz are looking for a haul to move on from Markkanen and seem content to wait. They've yet to make any movement with regards to accepting or declining the Warriors' substantial offer, details which have not yet been made public. I'm expecting both Pods and Moody to be a part of that offer, hence the acquisition of Hield and Melton. This, if it goes through, would likely be the last move of the offseason for the Warriors and their last chance at getting a third star level player to put in their starting lineup next to Kuminga and Curry. This team is currently a mix of players hungry to win and will do whatever it takes. This is why Melton chose to sign with the Warriors at the lower pay grade, injury aside. The only thing left is for the Warriors to find a way to keep Draymond under control. If the Dubs have a season where Draymond isn't suspended multiple times or continuously acquiring techs or flagrants, we could see a true contender for Curry's last couple of years. Let me know if you guys agree. What do you think of DeAnthony Melton, and how far do you think this team could go in the playoffs? Could they contend without Lauri, or would they need his addition to be taken seriously? Post your thoughts in the comments below. Before that though, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.